No matter how you travel, it's good to have a plan. Some people plan every minute. No sleep, bus, museum, another museum. While others only plan to take it day by day. When it comes to your finances, a plan is just as important. You can count on Credit Karma to give you the insights you need to understand your options so you can take charge of your financial path and find your way to money. Explore how you can make financial progress with confidence today. Intuit Credit Karma. Karma you can count on.
All right, we are back today with When Reality Hits with Jax and Brittany. I have a special guest, my good friend Jason Caperna, who is also on The Valley with me. He is a lawyer at large. What kind of lawyer are you, by the way? I always forget. People always ask me. I'm like, he defends restaurants.
Well, kind of. I mean, I represent employers, so I do workers' compensation.
Workers' comp.
Yeah, I defend employers against workers' compensation claims that their employees may have.
Okay. He's also a new father. We're going to get into that in a little bit. But most importantly, we're going to just dive right into, first of all, I'm going to talk a little something about, obviously, what everybody's seeing right now. I just want to put it out there that I am not, I repeat, not dating anybody. I was seen out with someone. It was strictly, just lunch. Obviously, Brittany and I are separated. I want to make that very clear. We've been separated for a long time. The episodes that you are watching right now are almost a year old. Brittany what we're going through right now is tough. Marriage is not easy. We're trying to figure out a lot of different things right now. Therapy. I'm trying to work separation. Maybe possibly dating other people, trying to do all these, exhaust everything before we have to go down the divorce road, if that so be the case. But as of right now, we are both on the same page with dating other people. That is okay. I know people are kind of coming at me and calling me this and that, but we are both in agreement that this is okay. And the most important thing, though, is our son. We just want to make sure that we're good parents to him. We don't argue or anything like that in front of him, and we don't want that to ever happen. That's why we kind of separated, because we needed to take some time apart. And part of taking some time apart means, maybe exploring other people, and like I said, all marriages are different. I'm not saying it's right or wrong, but this is what's good for our marriage. And this is something that we talked about and we are both on the same page about. We have a couple rules with it, but other than that, this is what we're exploring. And not to say Brittany's not doing what she's doing. I know it's not out there, what she's doing, but she's doing her own thing too. And I'm doing my own thing. So I just want to clear that up. There's no ill will between Brittany and I. We talk every day. I just got done off the phone with her. She wanted to see how Cruz is doing. She's actually in Miami right now. She's doing some work and she'll be home soon, but everything's okay. But I just really kind of respect us a little bit. Just respect our son. You guys can come after me all you want. I don't care. I have thick skin. You can come after Brittany all you want, but neither of us are doing anything wrong. We are both in agreement to everything that's going on for the most part. There is, some things that we're still trying to work out. But for the most part, I just want to clear that up. But I am not dating anyone, nor do I plan on dating anybody. I know, Jason, you heard about that. You're like, what is going on? I don't know if I'm ready to start the dating thing again. I don't think I am yet, but, we're just hanging out right now. And, I'm hanging out with, whoever, and I know Brittany's probably doing her thing too. So anyway, and like I said, we're both in agreement to it. So anyway, I guess one quick question for you. So now that you're new to the reality world, are you enjoying it? Is it what you thought it was going to be? Is it something different? Are you going to sign up for next season?
Well, I would like to do another season. Yeah. Right. I think it was a fun experience. It's a lot of work. It's a lot of work. It's like I have a full-time job and a part-time job now, which is being on the show. But no, it's great. I mean,
you're a father.
I'm a father now, which is going to add to it. I wasn't a father last season. Right. So this is another, responsibility added on. Yeah. So time-wise, it's tough. Right. But I would definitely like to make it work if that's something that happens.
I'll put in a good word for you.
Yeah, I appreciate that.
Are you getting noticed on the outside? Are people noticing? Are you getting more phone calls? Or are people coming out of the woodwork?
As you're aware, I don't really leave my house very often lately since having the kid. Yeah. But when I do go out, sometimes I don't know if my name is Jason or where's Janet? Yeah. People come up to me, hey, where's your wife? Where's Janet? Yeah. But it's been great. Like fan support out there has just been awesome. Like people have been really nice. I love taking selfies. I love all that stuff. Yeah.
What's the craziest thing that's happened to you so far? I mean, I know you're very new into this game, but is there anything that's been like, whoa, that caught me off guard, or whoa, I know you got a new phone from Samsung.
Oh, well, I did get a new phone. Thank you, Samsung. And
well, shout out to Samsung. He's got a brand new phone. He refuses to go to iPhone. He's a Samsung diehard.
I'm a diehard, baby. I'm Team Galaxy. Hashtag Team Galaxy.
He's a Team Galaxy guy. But is there anything else cool that
I guess the craziest thing that happened was one fan at Jax's bar came up to me and was like, "Oh, I'm a big fan of the show. Does Janet dom you?" And I'm like, "Dom me? What does that mean?"
What does that mean?
To dominate, like S&M. And I'm like,
"Oh,
you've never met me before. You've never spoken. It's like, hi, how you doing? Does Janet dominate you in a sexual way?" It's like, sometimes. No, no, she does not. It's normal. You'll see from this episode that I'm into normal stuff, normal vanilla type stuff.
Oh, I've had some fucking crazy questions. I had a husband come to me and ask me if I would fly. He would fly me back to, I think he lived in Charlotte, and said, "Would you be with my wife while I watch, and I'll pay you?" That happened to me before. And
were you single at the time?
I can't remember. It was years ago. It was not anytime recently. But he was like, "Hey, my wife, and we are into that, whatever you call that. There's so many different things out there, swinging or whatever." He's like, "My wife wants to be with you, and we'll pay for your flights and all this." And I remember she was an attractive woman, but I just was like, "What?" Like,
where was it? What city?
I can't remember exactly where it was, and I think it was here. I think it was at Tom. I think it was at Schwartz or Tom Tom. I think. It was
no, I mean, like, where were they going to fly you to?
I think they lived in Charlotte because I was just kind of like going along with it. I've had a few drinks and I was just kind of listening to the story because I want to see where it went. I'm like, what else do you have to go after that? And I was just like,
so you caught a Bobcats game while you were out there,
like,
or what?
I got to go have a drink. No, I mean, that never came to it.
You didn't go? What?
No.
Shock of the century.
No, I didn't go. No, this was a while ago, but it's just, you get some weird people, man. And people just are really, really ballsy. They don't really care or don't really, they just feel like it's not like you're on a TV show, where you're acting. They feel like they know you.
That's the thing. If they jump from, you skip over all of like the small talk.
The small talk's gone.
You want to have sex with my wife
exactly.
right now? Because I know you. You've been in our house for years, on the TV.
And I'm sure Brittany's got a ton of men hitting up her, and I'm sure all the girls have had men hitting up and saying things, but they just don't have any fear. Like, they don't have any fear, and they kind of just break that wall so quickly. And it's really like, wow, it's an interesting thing. It really, really is. Anyway, so let's get into the show. First of all, are you liking, nobody's really heard from you yet.
Yeah.
You don't talk a lot on the show.
Well, I'll tell you what, no one's heard from me because, we got to get some more listeners on my podcast here. This Side of the Hill, This Side of the Hill podcast, Spotify and Apple.
You're already trying to plug that podcast. So everybody out there who listens to podcasts, kind of everybody has a podcast. Now let's say it one more time.
It's called This Side of the Hill. This Side of the Hill podcast with my wife, Janet, and our friend, Jared Lipscomb.
Awesome. So, awesome. Yeah, so guys, check Spotify that podcast out. So are you, first of all, fatherhood. You're a new father. How's that going?
Being a new father is great. It's like, I was really stressed about it, especially if anybody watched the episode. I think it was like episode 8 or 9 when we're all outside and all you guys are just crying about how tough it is to be a dad. I'm like, great. I got a kid coming in about a month. Like, I'm feeling screwed here. The season started on a weird note, right? Yeah. Like when actually it was when I had COVID and the guys all went out, and that's when Alex met up with everybody and was going to be introduced to Luke, but they didn't actually end up talking, whatever. The girls had their girls' night, and that's when Kristen just sort of blurted out the whole, racist Republican thing. Right. And then from that moment, I feel like it just kind of took a turn. It did. With certain parts of the group, and it just never really got back together during the course of the summer.
I don't mean to go off chart here, but so Jeremy's birthday party, I threw him a birthday party with his fiancée Rachel this weekend, and it just so happens that Kristen and Alex were in the same bar at the same time.
You told me about this.
And it was not good. It was not good. Now, here's the thing. I didn't know. I'm not in charge of who comes to the bar. It's a public bar. Anybody can go. I gave it the invitation was open to anybody. It was out there for 2 weeks. There was no surprises. There was no, who's going to be there?
Yeah.
I invited everybody. That's the way Rachel wanted it. And I didn't know who was going to show up. Now, I honestly didn't think Kristen was going to show up. I didn't think that. So Alex said, hey, I'm coming. And the bars, there's a lot of people in there. There's people moving all over the place. That's kind of why I also
That's not your fault. I mean, even if they both come, they're allowed to both come. They're both adults who have been in separate relationships for a long time now.
Kristen made it my fault. She attacked me right off the get-go. Now, I know she's upset, and I'm not blaming Kristen. I'm not like, but she got really upset. I don't know if she was drinking or whatever, but she's like, how could you let him in here knowing that what he's done to me? And I go, Kristen, it's a bar. It's a birthday party. Jeremy is his friend. I go, you got to be, you're in a new relationship. You've been in a relationship now for almost 2 years, and you're still crying and getting upset over seeing Alex, who's also in another relationship, who also lives with his girlfriend. Like, why can't you guys just move on?
Yeah.
You dated, it didn't work out, move on. There's a lot of people here. It's my friend's birthday. Stop making it about you. And again, I'm not trying to attack Kristen here. I just got really upset because there's a lot going on. And like, she got mad at me. She's like, you got this, and going on. And why is he here? And I was like, Kristen, can you just like, come on, I'm going to go get your dog some water, get your dog some chicken, go in the corner, go sell it to your friends. It's a big bar. You can go in different spots and not be seen.
Just to set the stage here, Kristen comes first before Alex, and she's there. You guys are all hanging out for Jeremy's party. And then Alex walks in. And this is when Kristen
Alex was there first.
Okay.
Kristen showed up later. And with her dog. Luke was not there. Luke was in Colorado. And then I got some text messages from Luke, which was understandable. He's coming at me and be like, why are you letting him in here? This is not okay, the way she talks to her. I'm like, what you guys goes on with closed doors, I don't know. I don't know what goes on.
I may be missing something here. When did it get to a point where you're not allowed to invite Alex places? Because as far as I knew, Alex
has been my friend before they even started dating. Let's make that very clear. Yeah. It's not my duty to disinvite and invite people. I'm 45 years old. I'm going to be 45 years old.
But Alex has always been invited to everything.
Everything.
Like, so why did something happen that I'm not aware of that make this?
I don't know. But there was some word. I'm not going to say what Alex and Kristen said because it wasn't nice, but there was some words exchanged, yelling and back and forth. And Kristen goes, I'm leaving. I'm getting out of here. And I'm mad at you, Jax, for keeping Alex here, which I understand. Kristen was hurt. I get it. But Alex is my friend too. So I'm like between a rock and a hard place. Like, what am I supposed to do? Work it out between each other. Don't put me in the middle.
I mean, in this group, let's say there's 20 people. There's always going to be about 6 people who can't be near each other in the group of 20, right? I mean, I don't know. Is this a different situation? Because my understanding was that Kristen and Alex could be at the same place. They're just not going to talk to each other. Like Jax's bar is, I don't know, for everybody who hasn't been to Jax's bar yet, there are 3 rooms of hangout areas. You could be in the bar area and never hang out with the people who are in like the beer garden area.
Right.
Or in the lounge area.
Or the lounge area.
Yeah. And
I'm glad you say that because Katie just called it a room attached to a bar.
What all of Jax's bar?
Katie bashed my bar. Okay, which I've never bashed her place. I'm so happy that their place is doing really good, by the way.
Have you been yet?
No, I'll wait till it dies down. It's like the new iPhone. You wait till the lines die down.
It's like a 4-hour line right now,
I'm not doing it. For what? A $50 sandwich? I'm good.
I don't think it's 50.
Well, they have to. Look, the overhead on that place.
I mean, well, you don't have to when you're selling like 10 sandwiches a minute. When they just have people coming
but they've been sitting on it for a year. So they have all that back, what they owe. Anyway, enough of that. I was just saying, Katie called it a room attached to another building, which is basically every building. Anyway, so I thank you for saying that it's a pretty big bar. You enjoy the bar, yeah?
It's a great place. I love it because there are 3 different rooms, 3 distinctly different rooms and environments. Actually, even 4 if you count in like the lobby, like plant area.
Yeah.
It's kind of like a chill, like little photo opportunity area.
Exactly.
But you could either have like a bar vibe or you can have like a beer garden vibe or a lounge vibe. And anyway, my point is with that, not to just kind of, not to just plug Jax's bar, but also just to say that if Kristen and Alex had a problem with each other being there, they could have easily split up into different parts of the bar and never encountered each other.
Yeah, like that could have happened. And like I said, if you're there for somebody else's birthday party, you put your problems aside and just be there for that person, say hi, and then you're like, you know what, maybe I'm just not going to stay the whole time, but not make a scene.
And don't put Jeremy in a position or Rachel in a position that they can't invite certain people that they want to have their birthday.
That's what I was having a problem with. And
I saw Sandoval was there.
Sandoval was there.
Kristen didn't have a problem with that.
Kristen didn't have a problem with that. Like, whoever wants to come and enjoy themselves, whatever. Yeah, we had a really good time. But that was an issue this weekend, so I don't know what's going to come out of that. Getting back to the show, The Baby Moon. Yes. So that was the episode that you guys are about to watch. It was an interesting trip.
The third part of a 3-part Baby Moon saga. The Baby Moon saga.
We get one more episode left of that?
We the one that
my bar. Is my bar episode's next. The opening of my bar.
The finale episode is next, and that's the opening of your bar. But Big Bear spread across 3 episodes.
Okay, so that was the last
episode. It's the third.
I'm sorry. I watched the episodes early, so I forget that I'm like.
They all kind of mesh together, when you kind of watch, especially because,
and again, those Big Bear twins, it was chopped up. It was chopped up. There was so much that went down. There was so much, and I watched it. I'm not going to lie. I watched it, and I'm really upset the way how I handled the situation, how I talked to Brittany. It was just uncalled for, and I talked about it before. I personally going through a lot of things mentally, and I'm trying to work on a lot of things right now. I finally got on medication, which I'm really excited about. I've been going back and forth with it. I finally saw a doctor. I got on a prescription. I'm going to be honest with it. I'm a pretty open book. I got on Lexapro. I know it takes some time to get into your system, but I'm feeling excited about it. I'm hopefully that's going to work. Like I said, I'm really trying everything before, Brittany and I have to call it quits, and who knows what's going to happen. But I did watch the episode, and I really just ashamed of myself of how I talked to her in public. That was uncalled for. It just, like I said, I'm just kind of dealing with a lot in my life right now, and it's no excuse, but my mental health is number one, and it hasn't been good for a while. I want to say for the last 6 months to a year, I've just been dealing with a lot of stuff and unpacking a lot of things that I've kind of put in my brain that I don't necessarily deal with right away. Like, I've never really dealt with my father's death. I never really dealt with not talking to my mother anymore. And, everything happens so quickly. And then when something goes wrong, I don't have the time to like sit and unpack it because I'm filming a show, or I'm got to move on to the next thing, or I got to take care of my kid, that I don't have time to unpack what's going on in my brain. And then when we do a television show, or we do an argument comes up, a small argument between Mitt and Brittany, I blow up because I'm still unpacking the crap that I haven't unloaded before. Yeah. And it's driving not only my wife away. I've talked to you inappropriately before. I talked to my sister inappropriately. Like, it's not just Brittany. I do it to everybody. I do it to my family. I do it to my friends. And then no matter what, every time I do it to Brittany, within 5 minutes, I call her, I talk to her, or I go to her, I'm so sorry. I'm very aware of how I talk to people. I'm very aware of it. I just don't know how to fix it, and I'm trying to fix it.
I think that you're doing a great first step. I mean, I think that, and I mean, I've told you this before. I think Brittany's told you this before also. Just going and seeking help from a doctor, from a professional, is huge. Because, like you said, I mean, I think that is something you do, is probably carry stuff with you, kind of bury it down, don't address it, and then all of a sudden, just when it comes out, it's like it all comes out.
It all comes out.
And then you have a situation where you're snapping at Brittany in front of everybody.
Yeah.
Whereas had you vocalized some issues maybe you had with stuff going on earlier, it would have been more of a cordial conversation between you guys, like constructive criticism or something.
Right.
And no one's ever going to respond to being snapped at, even if they're doing something wrong. Like, oh, you're right. It's
it's
never going to be a good reaction.
And it's just, I went from not being on Vanderpump anymore, not knowing what I was going to do with the job and having a baby, to not, like, all these things started happening again. And I was just so happy, and I was just taking it all on. I was kind of being a yes man, saying yes to everything. Got the bar, got this. And then I come home and I take down all my stress on my wife, which is just not okay. But I had nowhere else to vent it. And she didn't deserve that. And not saying she's a saint by any means. It takes two, but I am the catalyst of most of this. I know that. And she doesn't deserve any of that.
I think that not to try to get too into a therapy session here or anything, because okay. I also have I have no degree in, I don't have a PhD in therapy or psychology or whatever, or anything like that. But you try to handle everything on your own. You try to you take stuff with you. Like, say we go out for beers or something, just me and you, and I'm like, what's going on? And you're just kind of like, you keep it all kind of close to the chest, and you don't let it out. You don't really talk about it.
I'm very scared to talk about things. I'm worried what people will think. I'm worried. I'm scared to look weak. I'm scared to be emotional. I'm scared to be vulnerable. I'm scared to lose what I have. I can't turn my brain off. I can't relax. I can't live in the moment. I'm constantly sad. I think the last time I was truly happy was when my son was born, and that was 3 years ago. I have no reason not to be this way, because I have everything. I have a beautiful home. I had a beautiful wife. I got a beautiful son. Money in the bank. I got businesses. Like, there's no reason for me to be sad, and I'm just sad all the time.
I think just being alone with your thoughts and with all these, anyone, it's going to happen. You're going to have depressing thoughts or anxious thoughts or anything going to come in. And I think that maybe for a while you were looking at Brittany as less of a partner and more of like a foil, like someone who who adds to your stress. Where it's like, really, she's someone who you should be not unloading your stress to, but at least talking to and having her make you feel better. By conversing and not. And I think that when that communication breaks down, you're always going to end up in some sort of an issue.
Yeah, I don't know what's going to happen. Like I said, what you guys are watching now, or what you watched today, is as bad as it got before she left. And like I said, it was. I know I said we would never ever leave each other, but it got to the point where, she had to go, and everyone's like, well, how come you didn't leave? I'm like, well, yeah, I pay the mortgage on my home now. I couldn't pay the mortgage and two places. I can't afford that. I can't afford a mortgage and an apartment. So, Brittany does really well for herself. She got a place down the street, both close to our kids' school, and it's going okay. And we're doing what we got to do. But
I've seen that too online, people saying that you should move out, but it's like, it was her choice. Like, you guys were just at home, and then she's like, I'm leaving. So what are you supposed to do? No, I'm leaving? Whereas you wanted her to stay.
I wanted her to stay. I know it was, I know it wasn't getting well, and I know we have a son to think about, but it never got to the point where we're yelling in front of our son. And our house is big enough to where you can live on two sides of the house.
You could have had like a Tom and Ariana situation if you needed to.
Well, it wasn't because there's no cheating going on. There's none of that. It was just a communication thing. Yeah. So we still have to raise our son. Like we're still, as of right now, I just got off the phone with Brittany an hour ago. Like we're still talking. Like it's not like it's, it's a communication thing. Yeah. So if it was a cheating thing or something like that, then I would understand. Okay, sure, I got to go. But this is something completely different,
Yeah, and it wasn't like something specific that you did. It was just sort of like, I guess, just the way that you guys were interacting with each other over time is what caused her to move out.
Yeah.
Like you're saying a cheating thing. It's not like you just, oh, shoot, I just really screwed up. I got to leave because I did something wrong. It's like...
Well, too, and it got to the point where it's like we would start arguing about the dump. Like if I left the cupboard open, it would spiral into something else. If I left the door open, or if I didn't, make the bed, like those kind of things, we're starting to set each other off because we're so angry about other things that little things are starting to set us off. And, I want to do the right thing. I really do. I just need some fucking help. And I'm just so scared of getting help because I don't know, for people that watch Vanderpump Rules in the past, I've asked for help many times and I've been burned. And I'm a man, right? I'm like, I know there's something wrong with me. I'm very aware, but it's like that oil light. I know I got to get my oil checked, but I just don't want to know. I know I need to go to get a physical, but I just don't want to know what I have. Like, you know what I'm saying?
And you did get a physical recently.
I did. I just had my first physical in, it was almost 2 years, and everything's perfect. Thank God. Everything's good.
2 years is actually not that bad.
The only thing I have to get, well, I'm going to be 45. The only two things I have to do is my colonoscopy. That's got to be done. And I'm getting my testosterone fixed next week. Not fixed. I'm getting it checked just to see where I am, where my levels are.
Are you thinking about going on
I don't know. I go
THT. What is it? THT or
I have no idea. But I want to know if that's maybe a cause. If my testosterone's too high or too low. Of maybe I don't know. Maybe that's a cause. I'm just trying to rule out everything before.
Dude, you should go on that THT, that testosterone.
Yeah, but I don't want to get
just freaking be all jacked up for season 2.
I know. Well, I'm trying. I'm starting to hit I'm back to the gym now,
man.
Yeah, the dad bod happens fast when you have a kid.
It happens really fast. And if we were filming a pool party tomorrow, I would be leaving my shirt on for sure.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. What else did you think
about? The only
one
one taking her shirt off is Jesse, who's lost like 50 pounds.
Well, you want to know why? Because he's gone through a divorce. And he's like, he told me, he's like, the reason I lost all my weight is because I'm going through what he's going through. And he's happy now. He's got a new girlfriend, Lacey, who I've met. She's amazing. She's awesome. So sweet and she's so nice. And I went out with her a couple times already. And Jesse seems like a completely different human being.
He really does.
It's amazing when you turn the page and you start to think, okay, maybe, I don't know. I'm not saying, I don't know what was going on behind Jesse and Michelle's relationship. You only see what you see on TV. And by the way, what you see on TV is a very, very, very small percentage of what's really going on. Okay. You have to understand that you see a very, very small percentage. So, I'm just happy for Jesse. He seems so happy. He's got a really good thing going on with Lacey, and I'm assuming Michelle's got a good thing going on with her new boyfriend.
Michelle's new boyfriend, Aaron. It's funny. Have you met Aaron?
I have not yet.
So
have you?
I have, yeah. I actually knew Aaron a few years ago, just from when we were both single, just like being out in LA and stuff. But he and Michelle just sort of vibe and get along really well together. Like they seem just very well suited, kind of more similar personalities. And Jesse and Lacey are like more similar personalities. Exactly. It's kind of funny how that works out. And they both seem to be very, very happy.
Yeah. And that's all you want for people. You just want them to be happy because you don't want to keep going the back and forth because it gets messy and there's no point for jabbing at each other.
And Aaron and Lacey are both great with Isabella.
Yeah, and at the end of the day, that's the number one. The number one thing is that little girl, just like the number one thing is Cruz, and that's
Being Jen and I's first season on reality TV, this has been something that's been coming up for us also. I mean, you've been going through this for, how long has it been since you've been on TV? 12 years?
I mean, altogether, somewhere around there, yeah. I don't know exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, 11 maybe. 11,
so, I mean, you're maybe a little more used, not maybe a little, you're definitely more used to it, like negative comments, things like that.
Yeah, I don't really let things like that bother me because people are always going to say, it doesn't matter if you're Mother Teresa, they're going to talk about you.
Oh, 100%. If it's Mother Teresa, it's going to be like, what is she hiding? Yeah, doing all this stuff for other people.
It is. And these are keyboard warriors. They just go behind the keyboard and they just want to be heard and want to be talked to and whatever. And everybody has problems. It just so happens that our problems are on TV. Everybody in the world's got problems. Nobody should be able to talk about anybody.
Well, I think a lot of the reason people comment and will say negative things about us because they're
spiraling from insecurities,
projecting their own stuff. Exactly. Yeah, absolutely. So that's been a little bit tough, especially because Janet has just been getting a lot of negative messages.
Yeah.
And
why?
I don't even really understand, to be honest. I mean, first of all, Kristen has an army. Kristen has a lot of loyal fans, and she deserves that. She's been on TV for a very long time, as you have,
right?
Which is great for her. But it's been, tough on her, and we don't really read the comments anymore because it's gotten a little bit too much.
Yeah,
but that's tough.
The fishing trip was a lot of fun. Janet seemed like she had a great time. Daniel, on the other hand, man, he got a pass.
I'm just going to say Daniel had a good time.
I'm just going to say Daniel got a pass on that one because he was on one that trip. Does he deserve it? Absolutely. The guy's got 3 kids under 2. He says it 50 million times. We understand that, but you didn't see a lot of the stuff that he did. Daniel's also he's had his fair share of getting kicked out of my bar too. He's been kicked out a couple times, but it's okay. You know what? He has to have a couple drinks and he has fun, whatever.
It's hard to blame Daniel or come down on too hard because he has 3 kids when we filmed under 2, as you said. Now he's had 3 kids, 3 and under.
Yeah.
Oh, boom, 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 3 kids.
Yeah.
That's a job. He's got this townhouse, this really nice townhouse, but he's got so much stuff and so many kids and so many people packed into this place.
Yeah. For 3 kids, 2, and then 2 parents, and then whoever else comes and visits. And all their toys. You know how babies, the toys are bigger when they're smaller. It's and
a full-time job. And he's out here acting, going to the studios all the time.
And a wife to keep happy, and
he's he's kind of lightweight. Like it's not like he can't. He's not a Jesse. Let's say Jesse. I've never met anyone like Jesse who could put him down like he can.
I've never met anybody in my life who can drink like that.
It's actually wild.
It's like when I honestly say I've never in my life have met anybody who can drink like that and still be able to walk in a straight line.
He's like pretty much like he and Andre the Giant would have gotten along well.
Yeah.
Do you ever see that documentary talking about how Andre the Giant would have like 100 beers on a fight or something?
Yeah. Well, he's also not 600 pounds and 8 feet tall, but
Jesse's like 165.
Yeah,
he's still putting him back like this.
He's from Boston though. He's another mass hole. We call him mass holes. No, Jesse's great.
But Daniel, on the other hand, he'll go out. He's like, you know what? I finally get some time. I'm going to cut loose. He'll have like 4 drinks, and then he's like,
he's on one. Like I would even say less than that. You throw him 2 shots, 2. He's done. He's donezo. And he has a good time when he comes to Jax's. I'll just say that. Nia's probably not always the happiest in the world when he goes out, but he's got to let loose. So the baby moon was going on. I mean, that's what everyone's going to watch. And then next week we get into the finale, which is at Jax's. Which we see you, I saw on the trailer or the previews that you kind of, all right, I'm going to let Zach know what's going on.
Yeah, I mean, at a certain point, I'm sitting there and, without giving away too much, just I can only handle somebody yelling at my 7-month pregnant wife for such a long period
I understand.
of time. And then I kind of have to do something about it, right? Like, I mean, to just sit there would have been a little wild. And I know it's a little bit outside of probably what the audience sees as my character, but I mean, I think Gandhi in that scenario would have gone off,
I like to use Gandhi.
Yeah, well, Gandhi was a great man, and I'm trying to be a great man myself.
So anything else going on with you right now? What's going on?
Oh, I mean, I relate to Daniel a lot because he's got the 3 kids under 2. I got the 1 kid, and I'm already like I'm at the seams.
I know. I barely even seen you since the baby's been born. We used to hang out at least 3-4 times a week.
Yeah.
And now you're kind of going through it, but you're building a unit in the back of the house.
Already built. Ready for my mother-in-law to move in.
Your mother-in-law's moving. That's going to be nice,
but
man.
My mother-in-law is slow to leave. I mean, she's lived in Ohio for 50 years. So she's like slow to get it over here.
Because it's just finally happening. It's
like once it's happening, I get it. It's like, that's a scary move to move somewhere where you don't, like, she's got a ton of friends. She's got her whole life over there.
Right.
In LA, she has, me and Janet.
Right.
So,
and
our baby.
And a baby, going to watch the baby a lot.
And then it's also, she's like, wait, am I at a point in my life? I'm just making this up. She's not vocalized any of this. But I'm just putting myself in her shoes and be like, am I now like, I'm just a grandma? That's like my full-time job because she's retired now. So I don't know. We're working on her. We're working on getting her out here.
Also, your birth father, your real father, just had a baby.
I only have one.
Oh, you don't even have stepdad, right?
No.
Okay, so your father just had a baby.
Yes.
Your father just had a baby. So you have a brother that's how old?
I have a sister.
Sorry, she's a girl.
I have a little sister who is 3 months old.
3 months old.
My son is 5.5 months old.
And your son is 5.5 months old.
So my son's aunt is a little bit younger than him. But no, they're actually going to come out and visit in a few weeks.
Really,
so that'll be
cool.
cute to see them together.
Yeah, are you excited to see?
I'm super excited to meet her. Yeah, I mean, it's funny.
My 3-month-old sister.
And yeah, exactly. My 3-month-old little sister, my little baby,
crazy.
my literal baby sis.
That's awesome.
And then my dad had a baby and bought a Porsche all in the same week. So
I was telling you on the way here, that is a midlife. I mean, you get it ear pierced. That is the midlife crisis package: sports car, child, ear piercing.
Oh, absolutely. If he had hair, he'd dye it probably by now. But yeah, no, he doesn't have any hair. That left a while ago.
You got to come on our bar crawl. You know, me and Tom are doing a bar crawl.
I saw that. What's the date of that again?
So we do have a bar crawl. We're doing June 6th. Love to have you. I know you're possibly going to be out of town, but we're doing a crawl where we start at Sir, then we go to Tom, then we go to Schwartz and Sandy's, and we finish at the lovely Jax's. If you're in town and you want to come to that, I'd love to have you. But yeah, we're trying it out. We sold out in 22 hours. It's basically a package deal where people are going to come on a bus. We're going to have an MC. People get a little care package and then they get to go have some fun, but we're going to try it out. Like I said, it sold out so fast, so I think we're going to keep doing it. Steve, you got any questions from the audience?
I have a little question I want to pose to you two gentlemen right here.
Okay.
Because I can imagine there's many people listening to this podcast who work in the service industry.
Yep.
And perhaps they also enjoy a good decadent restaurant bar experience.
Right.
And given the two of you, Jason, your line of work, Jax, famously working at Sir, now you're a bar owner. I want to get your thoughts philosophically on the age-old question: is the customer always right?
So you asked the question on here, right?
Yeah,
so,
I'm posing it to you.
Is the customer always right? Wow, that's kind of, now that I am a bar owner, I'm going to have to say no, because for me, here, it's a little different for me because I'm in the limelight and I own a bar, and there's always going to be people out there going to try to bash me or bash my bar. So we had this one customer, for instance. She messaged me and said, Jax, I had a really bad experience at your bar. I had to wait 25 minutes for the waiter. Then when this happened, and I'm like, okay, I'm sorry. So we got on the cameras to see if all this that she said happened, and none of it happened. I knew the exact time that she got there. She was there for 3 minutes. She didn't like whatever she didn't like, and she walked right out. But some people they just want to tear your bar apart, especially when it's somebody that's famous or a celebrity. They automatically don't like me. So I'm never going to, no matter what my bar looked like, they're going to tear it down no matter what. So I have to deal with that. I have to understand that. So in that case, I don't think so. But when we're in the bar, and if somebody doesn't like a drink or somebody doesn't like the food, even though it could be perfect, I always just say, you know what? I'll take it back. I'll buy you a new drink. I'll buy you this. I'm the type of bar owner that I walk in. What do you want? What do you want? What do you want? I'm always buying people shit, no matter what. As a lawyer, when it comes, that's probably something totally different.
Well, I mean, I don't know how I could really answer that from a lawyer's perspective, but my perspective on that is that the customer is generally wrong, but it's up to the restaurateur or business owner to accommodate them even when they're wrong.
Right.
If it's possible. You know, some people are just hateful, terrible people.
Exactly. Or they're having a bad day, or they're, whatever. Maybe something's going on. But at the end of the day, it doesn't really cost the restaurant anything to just replace their food or make them have a good time. Because at the end of the day, maybe they just were not having one, but I want them to come back. So instead of going off and being like, rah, 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 there's no point in that, really.
Oh, you never want to get in a back and forth screaming match with the customer, right?
Yeah, there's none of that. If you don't like the place, I'm sorry. I wish we could have made a better experience for you. That's how I handle it. And I'm learning as a bar owner, that's just the best way. I want them to have a good time no matter what.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I think it goes both ways. Would you say then?
Yeah, I definitely think that the customer is often wrong, but they're also paying for an experience that they want that's specifically what they want. And if you can give it to them, great. If you can't, then maybe they just need to go to a different place that can accommodate whatever they're looking for.
Yeah, sometimes there's fans that just don't like me, and they're already angry already as it is, and we don't care what we go into, we're going to give it a bad review.
You're in a specific situation where there's also going to be people who come in to try to have a gotcha moment, where it's they'll say something rude to the bartender, or they'll do something rude to a waitstaff or something because they want a reaction from them, and then they can get their camera phone out and be like, look at how rude they are at Jax's bar.
Yeah,
but it's well, you just told the guy that his mother was something here or there,
right?
So it's not. Your experience your situation is different than the standard restaurant.
Yeah, that's very, very, very true.
Jax, is there anything you've learned about people in general since opening the bar, or they just reconfirm everything you already believe about people?
I think to be honest, I really, really enjoy the bar. And I think a lot of people have been talking to me and saying, hey, the bar has kind of been like the reason why you and Brittany are not working out. And to be honest, that's not the case at all. That's kind of the one thing that's actually been keeping us together. And I know that sounds strange, but the bar is kind of something that's been really, really fun for both of us. We get to meet the fans. We get to, experience it with them. We do these watch parties. We do karaoke. We do trivia. It's close to the house. We're, all of our friends always are there. We have a good time with it. I enjoy it. In fact, we're going to be expanding. We're trying to expand to Nashville. It's been a very, very cool experience. And to be honest, I wasn't sure what I was going to get into with this, because like I said, usually when people open bars, that's kind of usually the root of all evil. That's going to destroy your marriage. And, yes, my marriage is kind of not in a good place right now, but it's definitely not because of the bar. It's definitely not because of that, but, it's definitely taught me a lot. It's taught me a lot about people. I'm learning a lot as I go. It's a lot of fun. I'm enjoying it. I'm enjoying it. And I think Brittany enjoys it too. When she's in town and when she's there, she has a lot of fun with it too.
Yeah, and for me, is when I pop in every once in a while, it is great to interact with the people the patrons who come to your bar who watch the show, and I said earlier I was talking about some of the negative comments I've seen online. The thing is, 100% of the people I've met in person have been amazing, right? Like the fans of the show, they're all great people that I've met so far, and 90% of the comments that are on my social media are super nice and great and amazing. It's just like these few people who are just right, like the meanest things.
And there's nothing you can do about it. You just kind of have to.
People, we get millions of viewers on the show. A couple of people write really mean things. It's like it is what it is. But just that vocal minority is just they're rough.
I'm excited about to where the next season is going to go. It's going to be crazy next season. I mean, guys, we still got I think maybe we're going to start back filming very soon. I'm not sure when, but it's going to be in the middle of summer. But there's a lot going on, obviously, and I'm a very open book. I've never been the type of person on the show to be like, I'm not filming this or I'm not doing that. I think everything that I'm going through, somebody out there is going through, and I feel like that I can help somebody out, especially when it comes to my child, especially when it comes to mental health, marriage, friendships, children. I think that's all important stuff that we all need to talk about. And and like I said, I will always be an open book for the most part. And
I've definitely seen comments, positive comments about the show, just saying like that they appreciate that we talk about issues that they're actually dealing with that are relevant. You know?
Because like I said, we're all dealing with it, whether you're on TV or not. We all have problems. We all normal human beings. We're all going to make mistakes. We're all going to, go through hell. And I'm, and marriage is one of them. And that's kind of the crap that I'm going through right now. And
one of the layers of hell.
One of the layers of hell. But you know what? Every marriage goes through their ups and downs. And, like I said, Brittany and I are dealing with it with how we want to deal with it. The public just wants to make their own opinions. But, we're going to get through it. Mm-hmm. And at the end of the day, like I said, as long as my kid has a great life. And by the way, I know that people are asking how Cruz is doing. He's doing really, really well. We had him on a metal detox. He's doing so well. And he actually said, I want more the other day. And I was away.
More metal?
No, he was having cereal. And he's only said a few words. And he actually put a whole sentence together, I want more. And Brittany called me. I was in Palm Springs playing golf. And she goes, you're not going to believe this. He said, I want more. And I was like, oh my gosh. And I just started him on this detox that we've heard from doctors to try. And he's been doing really well, a lot calmer. And just, he's just doing awesome, wonderful. Man. So it's a slow process, but we're doing everything we can, Brittany and I, and we just love that little guy so much.
Everyone loves that little guy so much. He's awesome. And it's a really good sign too, that he said a phrase like, I want more, not just like mama
and dad. He goes, I want more.
It shows you that there's stuff going on that he's not vocalizing yet, but like, you always hear stories about, this guy, he didn't start talking until he was 5, or this guy didn't start talking until he was 4, and now he's, a astronaut or something. Yeah. Right. So it's like, it is what it is. And the fact that he's saying sentences now, it shows that he probably is going to be ready to start talking faster.
I hope so. Yeah.
The normal progression, I would imagine.
Yeah. He's graduating in July to grasshoppers. He's a ladybug right now. He's graduating actually on my birthday, July 11th. He'll be graduating to grasshoppers, but, that's the kind of the latest. Everybody wants to know where Brittany is and why Jason is here. We kind of switch off once in a while. Brittany is in Miami right now working. She's got a little job that she's doing over there. So I had my buddy in today, and I appreciate you coming by today.
Wait, everyone wants to know that? What is it? A bunch of people being like, "What's this guy doing
sometimes,
here?"
sometimes like we switch on and off. If I got something going on, or she's got something going on, or
the phones are ringing off the hook. Why is this guy here?
Well, people are like, how come Brittany's not on this week? And so I always like to tell why, because she's out of time. Most of the time when we have guests on, it's because either of us have jobs or have working, so we just bring on our friends. But Steve, is there anything else going on?
I wanted you to clarify what the metal detox was. What does that mean for his diet necessarily?
It's kind of to get rid of toxins that are in his body. There's it's like a calm, happy. We got him from our doctor, and it just kind of removes. It's kind of like a probiotic. I want to say something like that. I don't know the exact of what it's doing, but it's just kind of cleaning out his body, cleaning out of unwanted toxins, of things that he could have had in his system that maybe are causing a speech delay. We're not really sure, but this was kind of the next step that the doctor said, hey, why don't we try this? It's kind of a metal detox, and it's droppers. We put them in his water and his milk twice a day, and it's been working. I can't get over just the progress that his attitude and the way he plays and the way he handles himself. So we're going to keep trying it. Like I said, we're open to anything. We just, like I said, want our son to be happy and healthy, and we're doing everything we can as parents to make sure that little guy is successful one day.
One other thing.
Yeah.
You two, are you both fans of boxing?
Not really.
No.
Great. Well, I'm going to ask this question anyway. Right. For anybody who can't see Jax and Jason, they're both two ripped, handsome dudes. They're both 9 feet tall. They could probably handle themselves pretty well in a scrap, and I'm sure they're very well aware of the Jake Paul-Mike Tyson fight.
Oh, of course. Yes, I'm very aware of that.
And
absolutely.
My question for each of you is, how long could you last in the ring with a 57-year-old Mike Tyson?
Not even I would be running around the ring until he caught me.
Yeah, I mean, if I was really planning to square up and fight him, I imagine it takes about a second to get to the middle of the ring. Yeah, and then he would just punch me and I would die.
I don't know. Have you been watching? Have you been watching his training? He
looks the same as he looked in his 20s. It's insane.
And I feel like he's a lot more mentally clear these days. I watch a lot of his podcasts and stuff. The guy's really intelligent. He's very intelligent considering how many times his head's got wrung and how many drugs he's done. He's incredibly intelligent. I love the way he thinks. I think he's a very positive person. But man, that guy still has it. I've been a Mike Tyson fan my whole life. Punch out. I remember when he used to the guy used to cut a hole in a towel, put that on as a shirt and walk out. And and people were scared of that guy. I mean, he's Iron Mike. So I'm going to watch the fight. I assume we're going to have it at the bar. I'm not going to have any skin in the game. I'm not going to bet on it or anything, but I got to say I would put my money on him if I was going to bet. You?
I would 100% put my money on Tyson. I mean, there was always the question growing up, for $1 million, would you get in the ring with Mike Tyson? And it's no, dude, because I probably would die.
Yeah, there's no way my head could take that.
I would fight Floyd Mayweather in a second for $1 million because even though he'll beat the crap out of me and beat me in boxing, he's not going to literally kill me. Yeah, whereas Mike Tyson can kill you.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah,
so,
he can kill you.
Yeah,
and I can't get over how fast his training, watching all that, it's just been absolutely.
I mean, I don't know a ton about the Paul brothers and that, I'm a little bit older, so I didn't follow their YouTube or careers or anything, but I know about them now. And Jake Paul seems like a pretty nice kid. I'm praying for him.
Yeah, and I also want to say thank you to the Paul brothers because they continually to send me prime drink every month. I get cases of it, and I don't know if it's directly from them, but it's their company. And then, so like I said, nothing against the Paul brothers. Again, we're both too kind of old, I think, to know where they came from or what they did, but we are friends of Tyson. So, the best to both of them. May the best man win. We'll definitely both be watching.
Yeah, I'm more just thinking the best to both of them in terms of I hope they both walk out healthy.
Yes.
Because even though Mike is, Mike Tyson, he is a little bit older. So I don't know. And I've heard Jake Paul's got a strong, punch.
Yeah.
I don't know which one, but which right or left. But I heard he's got some knockout power. But I don't know, man. This is Mike Tyson. This is I wouldn't do it.
But I'm glad you're enjoying it. I'm glad you're having a good time with it. I'm excited.
How about you, man? Are you liking being back? I mean, it's been a while because you did House of Villains. So you've been back for a little while now. But
yes.
How do you feel about that?
I'm enjoying it. Obviously, I'm not really liking the way things are going right now because I'm seeing the way I'm acting towards my wife right now is just not really, doesn't feel really good. But as far as being back on TV and working again, I'm very grateful. I'm a lot more humbled than I used to be. I think towards the end of Vanderpump, I was just getting a little cocky and I was just getting a little, I just needed a piece of humble pie. I think there was there was so many pros. Well, there's pros and cons to everything, but there's a lot more pros to me leaving Vanderpump when I did. In hindsight, for my mental capacity, for my physical, for emotional, for everything. Financially, it sucked, but everything else, I needed that break. I think I needed to come down a couple notches and realize, wait a minute, but if I can just figure out how to, talk to people and figure out how to communicate better. And I'm hoping that this medication helps me calm down a little bit. It just kind of takes the edge off. I'm really, really hoping. Like I said, I'm really trying everything here, but I'm hoping that next season I just kind of think about things a little bit more before I speak. I hope I put myself in situations that are probably a little bit better. I don't want to come at people anymore. I don't want to offend anybody. I don't want to make Brittany feel awful. I don't want to do any of those things. I just want to be, whether or not her and I, end up together or not, I just want to be a good father. And I just want to treat people with the respect that they, treat me.
The showrunners listening to this, like, no.
No, I know. But at the same time, like, there's got to be a point in your life where you're like, enough's enough. Like, and like I said, I'm so aware of the way I am. And it's like, I almost need like a life coach, a daily life coach, and to make sure I check in with somebody. I actually have been using somebody as a life coach, and I kind of use my manager as a life coach. I've been kind of calling him every day, and he's been checking in with me because obviously the last 3 or 4 days haven't been wonderful for the press and everything like that. And I don't want to say I'm spiraling out of control, but probably making some decisions that I probably should run by people first. But then again, it's just kind of what I'm going through.
You've had a tough couple months.
It's been really tough, and it's been tough. But
I'm always here,
and I appreciate that. I appreciate that. I'm like I said, everybody's going through stuff, and I like that I can come on here and talk a little bit and get some feedback from people and
I will say it's interesting. You said that you feel more like you've been more humbled, I guess, since going off TV and back on again, because I haven't watched all of Vanderpump Rules, but I've seen a few seasons here and there and a few episodes here and there.
Oh, geez.
But like now that I'm on this show, my algorithm thinks I'm the biggest Bravo fan of all time.
Yeah.
Is that like everything is like Bravo, all these shows I've never even seen before on Bravo. It's just Bravo. But I got a clip of you telling Lisa Vanderpump something like, "This is my show." She's like, "Your show." I was like,
"Oh yeah."
Like, okay, I can see where you're coming from with that.
There was some times when I was on Vanderpump where I just thought nobody could touch me, and I needed like an ego check, big time. I needed to be slapped in the face, and I'm sure a lot of people can agree with that. But sometimes that happens. Sometimes you need to be brought down. Like you're doing the show and you think you're doing a good job, and you just kind of you go a little further and you go a little further. What can I get away with? And I need somebody to say, "Hey, listen, Jax, it's time to step back." I need someone to say, "Hey, listen, relax," or go take a walk, or take a breath or take a beat, because sometimes I just don't know my limits, and it's become a problem, and obviously it's become a big problem. So, and like I said, I'm aware of it, and I think next season I'm gonna try a lot better to be more aware of that.
And you got the extreme punishment, and that but then you also got the second chance that nobody gets, right?
I do. Yeah. I got the punishment that I felt like the network felt like that I needed, that I felt like I needed. Like I said, there was a silver lining to all that. I feel like, there was a plan, and I feel like the plan was the Valley. Mm-hmm. So, and I want to make sure that this show stays the way it is, and to stay that we're helping people, that you're seeing that things that we go through, that other people are going through. And if we're helping people, if I get a phone call like, "Hey, you helped me through that," or somebody in the show did this, and like, that's what I'm going through, and what do you suggest? That's great. That's great. Because as we get older, like, we need help, man. Life is hard. Life is freaking hard. Mm-hmm. And being married is hard, and it's just tough. And we live in LA where, and you got to have your hands in 10 different pots to stay alive here. Like, it's so freaking expensive.
I don't know if people understand the overhead.
They don't understand how much money you have to make to have a decent living, to put my kid through private school, to healthcare, to feed him. Like, you have all these things that we have. I have a bar, and I have a podcast, and I'm writing a book, and I go on these appearances, and I do social media, and like, I have to do all these things to stay afloat here. And then you do all these, and you're constantly stressed out. And it's like, I just want to turn off my brain, because I think that's where I take out all my hostilities, because I'm always like, are we going to be okay? Am I financially going to be okay? Is this going to be, am I going to have this tomorrow? There's no, there's no consistency with what we do.
That's always in my head. I'm like,
scared all the time.
In 6 months, could I be homeless? You
Yeah,
know what I mean?
I don't know.
We have
You don't
kids.
know.
You can't, like, when you're single, if you're just a guy who's single, it's like,
Who cares?
That's fine.
Yeah.
Live out of my car. Not that it's fine. It would be tough,
Right.
but you could do it.
I could do it. But now I have a child that
you can't have your kid leaving out of the, you know what I mean? And that happens. Tough times fall on people. So I don't want to say you can't.
Right.
But it's just a lot more stressful.
And I'm not saying that we're the only ones going through this. I don't want to play the victim here. Everybody is. And I'm just kind of going through it now. Like, I'm personally going through it, so I'm talking about it. And I want people to reach out to us and say, hey, if you're going through this, let me know. Talk about it. Because it's tough, man. And I feel like men, man, I've grown up to where we don't talk about our feelings. I've always grown up to where just suck it up. Like, if you got emotional, I remember my dad just be like, just suck it up, you know? And I feel like recently it's okay for men to be emotional, to cry, to be like, I can't do this by myself. You know, I feel like men are just we're just supposed to handle it all. Yeah. You know, no one really checks in on us. No one says, are you okay? And then when you do ask if you're okay, you're like, oh, you're playing the victim. I'm like, no, I'm not okay. I'm crumbling here.
But we're also programmed to just say, yeah, we're fine.
Yes.
You know, so it's hard to actually open up and say something's wrong.
And when you say you're fine, most time guys feel they're fine. They're not. They're not. They're just like, I don't want to talk about it because I don't want to put my problems onto you. So anyway, I think we had a really good episode. I'm really happy that you came on. I think we got a lot out of this. I'm sorry again to anybody I offended out there with this. Like I said, we're working on things. I'm so glad you came on here. Hope you'll come back.
Thank you for having me. It was great. Yeah.
I'm going to Canada this weekend. I got an appearance in Edmonton. Pretty excited about. And then I'm going to Calgary. But yeah, we got the bar crawl coming up. But we'll see you guys next week. I think Brittany will be back. Have a great week, everybody. And we'll see you next time on When Reality Hits. Take care, guys.
She talks about etiquette.
Get your fingers out of your mouth.
She talks about where to find a deal.
You know, if you sell me something on Instagram, I buy it. Whoever markets to me does a fabulous job.
She talks about the economy.
We used to joke that'll be the thing to send them to therapy. Okay, we're creating jobs. Can we look at it that way?
She talks about parenting.
These kids want to come home. They don't want to leave. They don't want to drive. They want to stay in the womb.
Let's Talk with Heather Dubrow every Thursday on PodcastOne or wherever you get your podcasts.